everyone. So, I'm Adam Husler. I'm teaching today with Om, and what we're looking at today is a little sequence that's quite good for the everyday cyclist, for someone that commutes to work, or someone that does spin classes, or someone a little bit more hardcore. Okay, we're going to start lying on our backs. Now, I've got a strap with me. You can use a towel, whatever you want. Anything that emulates the effect of a strap, perfect. So just start lying on your back. Use just a few moments to check in. If you really want to make more of this, press pause. And just give yourself the chance to check in with your body, to acknowledge any tightness, tension, any aches, any pains. If you use an ujjayi breath, begin to cultivate that now. And as soon as you're ready, draw your right knee to the chest. Now as you draw your knee in, think more about pulling your knee inwards rather than lifting your knee up. So as you ground your knee towards your chest, you're grounding as well the upper bone in the right leg in its socket. Make sure your left leg is doing something, your left knee pushing up, your left big toe pointing up. Elbows in nice and tight. On the inhale, find space. On the exhale, pull a little bit deeper, pulling your belly in as well. Take one more full breath. And now take strap, towel, shirt, belt around your foot. And begin to extend your leg up. Now initially, don't use the strap, just let the leg be straight. Straightening the leg with the muscles that are designed to straighten your leg. And that for some of you actually might be enough. Like for me now, today, that actually feels quite tight. But maybe you're feeling perkier. Hold your strap, but keep the shoulders grounded. Keep the head grounded. Push your heel up, point your toes down. Now unless you're hypermobile, almost imagine slightly that the back of your right knee is reaching towards the front of the room you're in. On the inhale, find space. On the exhale, push a little bit deeper. This should feel fairly juicy. And with everything we do today, you can adjust the timings. You can press pause, spend a little bit longer here. To a degree, especially if you're a heavy cyclist, the longer you can stay in these poses, the better. But moving on for now. Take your left hand to your left hip. Now do not let this hip move. Imagine there is a credit card underneath your bum. Someone wants to steal it off you, don't let them. Keep the right arm strong. Just begin to open your leg to the side. Again, however deep you want, this might be enough. But don't start to tilt everything. You're just moving the upper bone in the right leg in its socket, with your right arm still helping your leg pull relatively high. Hold there for 3. Keep pushing your heel away for 2. Then on 1, bring yourself back to center. Option to keep your leg straight. Option to bend your knee. And take a little twist. Take your leg over, and as you roll over, start to turn your left foot, left knee towards the side. Maybe have a little shuffle. And find a twist. Looking over your right shoulder, find that rotation. Breathing into the part of the spine that you feel is in some way holding you back. Come back to center slowly. Leave your right knee close to the chest. Bend your left knee. Place your right ankle, top of the left thigh. Flex your toes. Draw your left knee to the chest. Again, maybe you don't use your hands at all. If you're more open, right arm through the legs, left hand, left shin as well. Start to draw in deeper. Now, if you are very mobile here, as you pull your knee into the chest, slightly let the upper right thigh be moving away from you. Maybe even let your right elbow push into the upper right thigh. On every inhale, find space. On the exhale, use it. Imagining one day your leg comes behind your head and your perspective on life completely changes. But until then, just stay with where you're at for 3. Breathe for 2. Then on 1, on your way out, have a little shake of the legs as you need. And then draw the opposite knee to the chest. Wake up your right leg, point your right knee up, flex your toes on both feet. And slightly ground the upper bone in your left leg into its socket. Keep the elbows in relatively tight. 1 more full breath, pulling in deeper rather than up. Then take hold of your strap, or whatever it is you're using. Put it on the foot, ball of the foot. Extend your leg up without using the strap first. Really push the heel. Just waking up the muscles again that are designed to actually move your legs. Then take hold of it. Shoulders down, back down. And try not to be too attached to touching the foot. And I know some of you, of course, could probably do this and bend the knee to get there. But actually, let's focus on integrity over depth. Heel pushing up, leg straight, back of the left knee reaching forward. It should feel fairly juicy. Your biggest calf muscle actually kind of attaches above the knee. So in order to get a significant gastroc stretch, you want your leg to be straight. Strap, right hand, right hip, begin to open up. Again, there is no obligation to get your leg anywhere near the floor. All of you could do it if you did this. But actually, is that useful? Again, probably not. Hold for 3. Breathe for 2. Back to center, bend your knee or keep the leg straight. Have a little shuffle over to the side. And then take your twist. Maybe you're asymmetrical. Maybe your knee, like me now, gets nowhere near the floor. That's okay. It's all about this subjective experience. You're going as deep as works for you, and you might go gradually deeper. Doesn't matter. Hold 3. Keep the toes flexed on both feet for 2. Then on 1 back to center, keep your knee lifted. Draw your right knee closer to you. Take your left ankle to that right leg. Draw your right knee in. Maybe take the grip. Maybe go deeper. Perhaps let your left elbow push into the upper left thigh as you draw closer. Pulling in without letting your tailbone lift excessively, if that's good for you. Hold for 5. Breathe for 4. Toes stay flexed for 3. 2. And 1. Gently ease out, legs up. Just take a moment to push both heels to the sky. Hands to the side. Legs pretty straight. And cross your ankles. Roll yourself forward, nothing OTT. And make your way into a tabletop position. Let your index finger point forward. Let your biceps turn forward. As you inhale, lift the chest. Spread your collarbone. Sit bones move apart. Exhale, do the opposite. Push actively into the hands, draw your belly in. Moving fluidly now. Inhale, biceps forward, chest opens. Exhaling, do the opposite. And I just continue that. Continue to move through the spine, waking it up, getting your core fired up. Just doing what you need to do to wake your body up here. You can be a little bit more OTT with the movement if you want, but still use your core. And now end up in a tabletop position. Okay. Extend your left leg out. Slightly wrap that left hip down if it's lifting. Extend the right arm out in front of you. Lift the leg a little bit higher. Lift the arm a little bit higher. So trying to use the muscles underneath the shoulders that probably don't work that much, especially if you're hunching over some handlebars for significant periods. As you inhale, draw your knee to the elbow in the center. Exhaling, open up a little bit higher, arm higher, leg higher. Draw back in, knee to elbow. Exhaling, open back out, arms and leg higher. Still one more time, draw in. Open out, look forward, lift the arm higher without moving your arm to the side. So less here, more just directly up and forward. You can probably still see it, but you're trying not to. Then release, ease yourself down. A little bit of movement if you need. Other round of cat-cow if you want. Other arm, other leg, lift arm and leg a little bit higher. Draw in, knee to elbow. Open back out. Draw back in. Open back out. Keep the right arm relatively strong. Draw back in again. Open back out. Look forward. Arm higher, leg higher. But again, arm not moving to the side nor the leg. Look forward. Lift the arm so high you can't see it, or at least attempt to do that for 3. Breathe for 2. Then on 1, release. Curl your toes under. Slowly lift to downward dog. Have a little walk out of your legs. Maybe straighten one leg for a few moments. Push down, then maybe the other leg for a few moments. And then start to walk your feet to the top of the mat. Tiny little steps until your feet are close to your hands. And then just have a little ragdoll. Grab the elbows, let your head hang loose. Maybe bend your knees and tilt your bum a little bit higher. Take your left hand to the middle of your right shin. Bend your left knee. Open your right arm to the sky. But try and turn your chest with your hand. So you're not just waving your arm and head, but everything's turning together. Your spine pretty much parallel to the edge of the mat. And then back to center. Other hand, other leg, other arm opens up. Again, spine pretty much parallel to the edge of the mat. Hold for 3. Left shoulder away from the ears for 2. Then on 1, ease yourself back down. As you inhale, lift up to halfway. Straighten your back, straighten your legs. Exhale, fold down. Inhaling, draw your arms to the sky. Reach tall, high, little back bend. Imagine more you're doing a high jump than a limbo. Exhaling, take your hands down to the floor. Inhaling, halfway lift, straight back, straight legs. Exhaling, folding down. Inhaling, draw your arms to the sky, reach tall, reach high, push through the feet, lengthen your spine. Exhaling, take your hands down to the floor. Inhale, half lift, hands down, step your right leg back, take your right knee to the floor, walk your left foot slightly forward. Both hands inside your left leg. Lift your chest up, make sure your knee's behind the ankle. Come up to the fingertips. And now walk your fingertips forward as much as you want, but don't start to collapse. Lengthen your spine, go deeper via your hips, not via your spine curving. And spending longer here if you fancy, try not to let your left knee collapse out. Keep the left knee close to you. Finding balance, strength and flexibility. Walk your hands in. Take your right hand a little bit closer to the center. Take your left hand to the inner left leg. Slowly push that leg out. Without bending the ankle, hold for 3. Breathe for 2. Then on 1, back to center. Straighten your back leg. Lift your left foot up. Take your left shin close to the top of the mat, close to being parallel. Take your right knee just behind your left foot. It's a very weird version of pigeon. Your hips definitely are square. That's the key to this. Hands to the heart, hands to the sky. Bend your arms. Reach your chest up. Pretty much the opposite thing to working at a desk, to riding a bike. You're lengthening your spine. You're opening up for 3. Breathe for 2, reach your hands back further, and then on 1, take your hands down. Step yourself back. Body to the floor. Lift your hands, chest and feet. Exhaling. Push back. Downward dog. Left leg up to the sky. Step your left leg up to the top of the mat. This time, inhaling into a lunge, arms reaching high. Little soft bend in your back knee and slightly tucking your bum underneath. Inhale fully. Exhale, bend your back knee a little bit. Inhale, engage it. Exhale and bend a tiny bit one more time. Lift up. Straighten your legs. Grab a hold of your opposite elbows and slightly push your forearms into your mid-back as you open the chest. The legs remain straight. So notice what it feels like to awaken your mid-back. And keep that sensation. As you move forward, keep your back relatively straight. You might literally stop here. You might go deeper, but your legs stay relatively straight. Your back stays relatively straight. Feel it in that front leg. Wrap that right hip forward. Holding for 4. Have no expectation of getting particularly deep here. Breathe for 3. For 2. Ease up. Bend your left knee. Take your hands down. Lift your back leg up to the sky. You might stop here, you might go higher, you might straighten the base leg and lift that back leg higher still, whatever works. If you're feeling really good, you can bind and fold deeper. One more full breath. And then release your feet close. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhaling, sweep your arms to the sky, reach tall, reach high, little back bend, chest open. Exhaling, take your hands down to the floor. Inhaling, half lift. Really engage your back. Fold forward, step your left leg back. Left knee down to the floor, both hands inside that leg. Keep the foot forward and slightly out, probably. Come up to the fingertips, inhale. Exhale, start to walk your fingertips out. This might be enough. As long as you can feel it all good, be very aware that all your back knee wants to do is roll in. Keep it where it is. Take 2 more full breaths. Focusing on feeling, not aesthetics. Walk your hands in slightly, left hand a little bit closer to the center. Right hand in a right thigh, flex your toes, push that leg out. Again, nothing too dramatic. Let your foot, shin, and thigh be pretty much tracking the same angle for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center slowly. And then from here, lift the back knee, lift the front foot, send your shin towards the top of the mat. Knee slides forward, hands to the heart, hands to the sky. Bend your arms, lift your chest up, reach back. So less about your lower back, more imagining you're lifting up and over. Hold for 3. Hands back further for 2, maybe lift the chin slightly for 1. Hands to the floor. Step back to plank, release your body down, release your hands, legs, feet. And then push back, bum to the heels, back to downward dog, right leg straight to the sky. Right leg to the top of the mat, back knee stays lifted, arms up. Little bend in your back knee again. Arms stay high, inhale. Exhale, bend your back knee to almost touch the floor, leaning slightly back. Inhale, lift up, keep the arms high. Exhaling again, that little tucking sensation. Inhaling, lifting up. Grab your elbows. Maybe hold a non-habitual way around. Straighten both legs, hips square. Begin to ease yourself forward. Maybe you stop here. Maybe you go a little bit deeper. Imagine still that you're back bending. Go as deep as you want to go. Breathe for 4. Hold for 3. Breathe for 2. Then on 1, ease up. Bend your knee, hands down. Standing splits. Maybe this is your max. Maybe go higher, but keep your hips pretty square. Hands wherever you want or wherever you need them to be. Nothing needs to be dramatic. Holding for 2. No one is watching you. Then on 1, feet together. Inhale, half lift. Exhaling, folding down. This time just step your both legs back. Take your knees down to the floor. We're going to come into what's called some pigeon variations now. Okay? So right shin, move it towards being close to parallel to the top of the mat. Now I would say for pretty much all of you, use a book. So let's say I'm going to grab Fellowship of the Ring here, pop it underneath my right glute and see if it squares my hips. It doesn't, so maybe a little bit more height. Fellowship won't do, so 2 towers. 2 towers can come along and suddenly, actually hips are pretty square. This feels quite nice. Okay, don't be scared of using stuff. Stay here. Walk your hands in a little bit closer. Lift your chest up. So the full expression of this pose is the back bend. That's kind of what we're trying to do. We're opening the hips slightly, but actually getting a lot into the back here. Countering what we do, again, over our handlebars, over our phone, over our desk. Really lift away from your lower back. Nice. Walk your hands forward. Take your left hand, this is quite specific, to cup your right knee. Open your right arm just slightly. The twist here isn't important. Now, reach your right knee away from you and use your hand to pull your knee towards you. I'll say it in a different way. Imagine your knee wants to reach towards a wall and your hand is saying no. This should turn on everything on the right hand side of your leg. Getting into the IT band, your glute medius. Hold for 3. So knee pushing out, hand saying no for 2. And then on 1, hands down. Maybe have a little fold forward now. But even here, keep your hips square. If you're in survival mode, you can relax. If you want to keep it active, be on the fingertips and urge your left hip forward even more, which might actually mean lifting the right glute as well. Stay here for longer if you fancy it. Otherwise, walk your hands in. Step yourself back. And just release. Come into the opposite side. Again, take your books with you. Maybe you need the whole trilogy. Maybe you need the Hobbit as well. Whatever works. But find square hips. Start to take your back bend. Urge your right hip forward. We're trying to reduce the asymmetry to a degree. Maybe take your hands to the heart. Maybe lift up and over. Wherever you went before, whatever worked for you. Holding there for 3. Shoulders away from the ears. Toes stay flexed for 2. And then on 1, slowly ease yourself down. Walk your fingertips forward. Spine nice and long. Right hand cups a knee. Arm opens up. Find your twist. Knee pushing out, arm pulling back in. And again, this shouldn't make you smile. This should be very unpleasant. And then release your hands down. Again, relax. Maybe let the right hand pull forward. Again, that might mean your left glute lifts. But as a general rule, if it feels harder, that's probably quite a good thing. Bring yourself out. Be safe, lift up, roll slightly out, hug the knee to the chest. Face whichever way you want here. I'm going to face to you, but you don't need to. If you know you're quite tight, keep sitting on books. Feet together. Draw your feet relatively close to your groin. Now I would say here, don't hold your feet. I would say hold your shins, your ankles. Use your elbows to push down on the legs. So if you're here, holding the feet, it means suddenly the arms are pretty useless. Hold somewhere a bit higher, elbows pushing the legs, trying to open up. Inhale, exhale, go a little bit deeper. You can here hold the feet if your knees are already on the floor, but no need to twist your ankle. That serves very little benefit. Pause there, elbows in tight. Again, I would say stay here as long as you like, as long as you want. And once you are done with this, simply cross your legs and take the most passive fold you can. Maybe your head is in your arms, maybe your head is on the floor. Whatever works for you. You just spend some time there. Maybe stay there, maybe do the closing sequence if you fancy. Otherwise, enjoy your cycling. Make sure you do stretch for the long-term health of your body. Have a good one. Thanks for sharing your practice.